and welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren, and in today's video I'm beginning a new tips and tricks series in which I will be focusing on coloring different types of metals. So for example, gold, silver, bronze, copper, iron and steel. As this was a request from a friend on Instagram, I'm going to be starting with gold. I'll be showing different color combinations. I'll show you pages in coloring books where I've used this technique, and I will also be demonstrating it in the current coloring book that I'm working in. I just want to note that it doesn't really matter which brand of pencils you have. This technique will work with any pencil brand. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you some pages that I've colored using the technique that I'll be demonstrating. The first one is in Mythographic Imagine by Joseph Kattenbang. As you can see, I have the Dutch version. The paper in the Dutch version is fabulous. So this is one page that I've colored. Here I based it with alcohol marker. You do not need to base with alcohol marker. In fact, the technique that I'll be demonstrating is without alcohol marker, but you can base if you want to. Basically, if you base with alcohol marker, what's going to happen is your highlight is not going to be as white. That's all. So here I used alcohol marker as a base and then Castle Arts pencils on top. Then I have this page also. Here I used luminance pencils, and here I did not base with alcohol marker, and I also used a little bit, you can see if I there you go, you can see I also used some metallic paint after I had put down the pencil, and that was because the gold that I did on this page is not as shiny. I didn't want it to completely overwhelm the owl, so the gold is a little bit less shiny. When I demonstrate the technique, I'll show you how to get it shiny and not so shiny. Okay, and the last one I did was this page. I did these cogs in gold, and here it's polychromos pencil. It's the same technique on all of the pages. Okay, let's put that one aside. Next we have Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosans, and the page that I colored was this compass page. Okay, here you can actually see the technique to its best effect. The key to coloring any metallic object, it doesn't matter if it's gold or silver or any other metal, is the contrast between the highlight area here and the shadow area here. If you get the contrast right, then it's shiny. That contrast is what gets the object to shine and look metallic. Okay, so here I used, if I remember correctly, also Castle Arts pencils. Okay, no basing with alcohol marker, because if you base with alcohol marker in this page, it's going to go through. Right, so there's that one. Okay, this is Nouveau Fantasy Special with line art by Herb Leonard. It's a Coloring Heaven magazine special, and this is the page that I have. If I remember correctly, did I base? I did not base the gold sections. I based other parts. Sorry. Okay, so here it's the gold in this astronomy device thing, and here on the bottom and around the circles background. There are two different types of gold. So here the gold is slightly lighter, and here the gold is slightly shinier. Same technique, it's just the contrast between the lights and the shadows. Okay. Another one is Steampunk Special with line art by Hannah Lynn. It's also a Coloring Heaven magazine book. And here I did the gold on the mermaid's tail. Shiny, really shiny. I can't remember. I'm thinking that it was Spectrum Noir Color Blend pencils, perhaps. But the point is that you can use any brand of pencil. Okay. And last but not least, we have Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford. And the page that I have gold on is this compass page. This was my very first attempt at doing gold using this technique. And as you can see here, we also have two different types of gold. So here I used some sienna brown to get a different kind of shine. And here in the middle, it's yellow gold. So it's without the sienna brown. But basically, the technique works exactly the same regardless of what colors you're using. It will just be that you'll get different effects with different color pencils. Okay, so right now we're going to move on to the technique itself. I just want to preface this part of the video by stating that I learned this technique from Coloring with Elena, and I will link her video up in the corner. I did tweak it a little bit to suit my own coloring style, and I do use my own color combinations, but the basic principles of the technique I learned from her. I do strongly recommend looking at her channel because she's a fabulous colorist who has excellent tips and tricks of her own. Anyway, the pencils we'll be using for this demonstration are Prismacolors, but as I said earlier, you can use any pencil brand. We're going to be using Cream 914, Goldenrod 1034, Pumpkin Orange 1032, Dark Brown 946, Black 935. We're also going to be using a white acrylic paint pen, and I'm also going to show you what to do with Lemon Yellow, which is 915, which will make the gold shiny if you want it to be extra shiny. Okay, and I'll talk a bit more about that when I start to color. Right, so let's get on with the technique. So I am going to be using these two symbols to demonstrate the technique. The first thing that you need to do is determine your light source. So I usually decide that my light source is coming from the top left, and then this part is the highlight and this part is the shadow. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see a bit more clearly. Okay, so if my light is coming from here, this is the lightest area and this is the darkest area, and then this light is also going to hit here in the middle. This part overlaps this part, so this is where your darkest shadow is going to be, and here on the edge to get the shine in the middle. Okay, so you put your shadows in, then your darker mid-tone goes next to the darkest shadow area. Your second mid-tone, or your first mid-tone, goes underneath your highlight, and then your highlight color goes in between the white and your first mid-tone. Okay, and this way you're going to get the shine. So I think the easiest thing for me to do is to demonstrate how it works. Okay, let's zoom in some more. Okay, so we start off with our lightest color, which is cream, but we are going to leave a section that is white. In order to get the best highlight, the best thing to do is to just leave a white section. You can always make that white section smaller once you've started laying in your colors, but if you leave a section white, then you get a really strong highlight, which you can't really get back if you have covered over with a pencil. Okay, so I'm going to leave my highlight here and here. So I'm just going to start by putting the cream underneath, and here too. Okay, and here as well. Okay, and here leaving my highlight and just putting the cream over there. Okay, and over there. Okay, right. Now we go to our next lightest color, which is Goldenrod. Okay, and we are going to put it underneath the cream. Okay, you can even partially go over on top of the cream a little bit. Okay, and then in this area, there. Okay, here as well, around this bend. Okay, here I'm also going to have a highlight. Okay. There. Notice how I'm leaving the sections where the other colors will go blank for now. Okay, now we're going in with pumpkin orange. Okay, a little bit over the goldenrod. Here too. You're going to be layering, so. Okay, make sure the other colors are visible still. Okay, you'll see in the end it's not going to look exactly the same as the other one. No two objects are ever going to be identical, but that's okay. It'll look slightly different, that's fine. Next color is dark brown, 946. And I'm just going to color over all of those sections, a little bit of the goldenrod here too. Okay. Okay, now this bit is actually casting a shadow here. So we're just going to put a little bit of brown there, but we're still leaving our highlight. Okay, over here as well in the circle. And there too, we can even put a little bit over there. Notice I left a little bit of a highlight there. Okay. Okay, right, and now I'm going to go back to our cream, okay, and start filling in some of the white, okay, but still leaving enough white for my highlight. Okay, and the thing, if you use Prismacolors, it's going to start smooshing together, which is fine. Other pencils will do it slightly differently, but that, as I was saying, the technique is exactly the same no matter which pencil brand you use. Okay, back to goldenrod. Okay, and you can start to see we're already getting a bit of a shine. It's the highlight that is giving us the shine when it's contrasted with the shadow area. Okay, in fact, I want to go back to my cream and just blend this out a bit over there and over there. Back to goldenrod. Okay, right. We're skipping the pumpkin orange and we're going to the dark brown. Okay, just to give us some more contrast over there. Okay, goldenrod again because we're blending that out. Okay. I want to keep my highlight. Okay, and now we're going to take the black. Okay, the black is the deepest shadows and it's what's going to give us our most profound contrast. You can even deepen it up there. Around this bit over here. And even a bit over there. Okay, and we're going to blend it out with the dark brown. Okay. This is what gives us our contrast and our shine. In fact, I think we need a bit more over there. And cream again. Notice how I have kept my highlight, very important. So this is what I say. You can always fill in some of the white, but it's always good to leave it white as much as possible in the beginning. Okay, and now if I look at it, it's shiny. Okay, now you can leave it like this. Let me just brush off some of that pencil dust. Hold on one second. Okay, so you can leave it like this. It's gold and it looks shiny, but if you wanted to get even shinier, you can take a really bright yellow pencil, so lemon yellow or canary yellow, and just at the edge of where the highlight is, you take this pencil and you just add a tiny bit, and it is going to make it glow. And that is how you get the really, really shiny new gold color. Okay, so as you can see, we've made it really shine, as opposed to this one where we don't have the yellow and it doesn't shine as much as this one. Okay, you can also take the white acrylic marker and make your highlight even whiter. Okay. That will make the highlight even whiter. Okay, and so it looks even shinier. Okay, so let's zoom out, see the effect. Okay, so we have two gold objects. This one is really shiny, this one is somewhat less shiny, but they are both gold. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to an actual coloring book, and I'm going to show you how the technique works there. Before I show you how the technique works in an actual coloring book, I'm just going to show you some of the pencil brands and combinations that I use for gold. So I have it in my swatch card catalog here, okay, under gold. All right. Okay, so some of the combinations I use are in polychromos. Okay, so if you want, you can stop the video here and take screenshots. This is the combination I used for the compass in Enchanted Forest. Okay. Then I have another combination, also using polychromos. This is for the gold without the brownish tint. Okay, this is a combination I learned from Laura Rafferty. She also has videos where she shows how to color metal. Okay, so basically, if I remember correctly, she did it with polychromos, and then I just found the corresponding colors in Prismacolor and in ProColor. Okay, and then this is number 4. Again, it's polychromos and Castle Arts, and this one I got from Zucchini Kitty's channel. Yes, she colored the squirrel in Hannah Carlson's Daydreams. Okay, and yeah, I collect color combinations. Okay, and then we have the Steampunk Owl, which I didn't show you, but I colored that using Pablo's, and I've got the color combination. And then Alice in Clockwork, that's a different color combination. I'll show some of these other pages in my future videos, because on these pages you also have other colors. You have copper and bronze, and so I'll show those as well on these pages. Yeah, so this is combination number 6, Castle Arts, Prismacolor, and polychromos. Okay, and then combination number 7, which is the one that I just showed you. Yes, Prismacolors, and then 915 for extra shine. Okay, so those are all my gold color combinations. Whenever I see one in a video tutorial that I like, I add it to my collection. Okay, so this is the page that I'm working on now. It is from Mythographic Paradise by Fabiana Attanasio. And the page that I'm working on is the carousel page. And I've decided that I want the sections in between the material colored sections, yes, at the base of the carousel to be gold. I want the stage to be gold. I want the sections in between the pink here to be gold, and I want this section to be gold, okay? And that's what I'm going to color now. I'm going to color this section so that you can see how to apply this technique. However, the pencils that I'm going to be using are Castle Arts. Okay, so as I said, I'm using Castle Arts, and this is 75, 76, 114, 069, and 005 for the extra shininess if I want it. I'll see later on if I really want that extra shininess. Okay, so let's put those on the side. Okay, so I'm zoomed into the section that I want, and I've just got a piece of paper to rest my hand on, and I am going to take the 075, okay? Now, Fabiana has given us some of the shading already, okay? So I'm just going to make sure to keep my highlight. I want my highlight to be there and there. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. And over here. And I want my highlight to be there. Okay. Okay, so here, these objects are casting shadow over there, so. Okay, I want a highlight here in the middle. So there and there. Okay, here too. Okay, now I'm going to take my next color. Do I want to use this? Maybe not. Let's go on to 114. Okay, and now I can start going into the shadow areas. Okay, make sure to leave the highlight areas. I say that a lot in my videos. Make sure to leave the highlight area because it's so important. Highlights are what make the pages look realistic and come to life. The contrast between the highlights and the shadows. Okay. Right. Here. Let's also go there around these little pearl-like things. Okay. There. Make that a bit darker there too, underneath this this thing here. Not sure what it is, a flower or a rose or something. Okay, around there. Okay, now we're going to take our next darkest color, which is 069. Oops. Okay, and only in the shadows. There. Okay. Around this bit and underneath the star here, and underneath that. Underneath this object. The areas here are small, so it's important to have a sharp pencil. Over there. Okay, It's already looking shiny. Okay, I'm going to go back in with my 75, okay, and just blend some of this out, okay, but keeping the highlight. Make sure to keep that white. Otherwise, you're going to lose the shininess. Okay, there we go. Oh, I like that. And black. Okay. All right, so you have to be very careful with the black. Really just a tiny amount and only in the deepest, deepest shadows. Here, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, and we've got it to shine. I think I want to take this, not that one. I am not going to put in the really, really shiny pencil because I think it shines enough. The colors that I used make it shine sufficiently. I don't want it to have any more shine. Okay, so basically you can judge once you've put some of the pencils down whether or not you want it to be more or less shiny. So if I wanted to make it even more shiny, I would use the 005 and just put it a little bit into the highlight areas. But I think my gold is shiny enough. Okay, let's zoom out. There is my gold, and I'm now going to work on the rest of the section to make everything else that I want to be gold, be gold. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me on this tips and tricks, and I hope that you'll join me for the rest of the series as well, where we do other metallic objects. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, it would be wonderful if you subscribed, and I hope to see you more for the rest of the series. Bye for now.